The Haka Part 2. So, when some people, including myself, talk about a matriarchy or an egalitarian system, there's some men who immediately get triggered because they really cannot imagine a system that is not patriarchal. In their mind, every civilization, every system is a ladder or a pyramid. You have the top 1% at the top, and they are the ones with 99% of the wealth, 99% of the power, making 99% of the decisions. And all of the rest of us are ranked progressively lower than that. And the closer that you get to the top, the more power and influence you have. And the closer you get to the bottom, the less power and influence you have. And so their whole lives are spent trying to get as close as they can to the top, biting and kicking and scratching and stepping on people, walking over people, pushing people down to get to the top or get closer to the top. So they can't imagine a system where it's a circle and not a ladder, where it's an arrow going back and forth both ways and not a ladder. That just doesn't even compute to them. So they think of a matriarchy being a system where now women are on top and men are on the bottom. And that is not what a matriarchy is at all. A matriarchy is about collaboration, cooperation, symbiosis, rather than parasitism, rather than using other people. It's a win-win situation rather than a win-lose situation. And you can see this in the Haka, in that scene where she begins the Haka and the men in the community and the other women join in, and their voices become one. And you can hear individual voices from time to time, but the point is the unity. The point is the working together, the collaboration. It's not competition of who's going to be heard the most, of who's going to be the most important in this Haka, of who is going to get all the attention in this Haka. It is about the collective goal of making our voices heard and protesting what's going on and showing our unity and our strength as a community. And you see the patriarchal vision when you see the face of the Speaker of the Parliament, when you see him wanting to shut it down because he doesn't have control anymore. In his mind, he was supposed to be in control. No one was supposed to do anything but exactly what he expected them to do, speak their piece for whatever time they had, and keep it in the way that he expected it. There wasn't supposed to be any stomping or yelling or chanting or marching or coming together. None of that was supposed to happen. And you can see his displeasure that he has lost his supremacy. He has lost his control. He has lost the handle on this situation. And now things are going in a different direction than he expected. And so that's the difference between patriarchy and matriarchy. People that are patriarchal are often concerned with who's in charge and following a prescribed set of behaviors, a chain of command. And sometimes that chain of command is much more important than right or wrong, much more important than whose rights are getting oppressed or suppressed or ignored. Just the chain of command is important. As long as the chain of command is followed, who cares what's happening to these people? So that, to me, is so important. And we also see this when we have men joining feminine-dominated fields versus women joining male-dominated fields. If a man, let's say, for example, decides to become a hairdresser, there are many, many times when the women will, circle around him, invite him into their space, show him the ropes, try to help him avoid any pitfalls, really try to build community with him so his integration into this group, into this community, into this business or this office is as seamless as possible so that everyone gets the best of him being there, including him. But contrast that to when a woman goes into a male dominated field. You see the expression on their faces looks a whole lot like the speaker of that parliament. They don't know why she's there. They resent her breaking what they feel is tradition and showing up. They ignore her. They want to shut her down. They want to pretend she doesn't have a voice, or they want to haze her and try to harass her to the point where she gives up and leaves. But they're supposed to be the leaders, right? And leadership isn't about harassing people or bullying people or hazing people or feeling threatened by change. It's not about any of that. And so we have to, well, I won't say we have to, but it would be really great to actually see things for what they are and to really understand that the only system that benefits everybody is either an egalitarian system or a matriarchal system, because a patriarchal system by default is designed to benefit the 1% and to make the other 99% scratch each other and claw each other and fight each other, always, constantly, for the closest spot to the 1%. And marginalized groups generally get it the worst in a patriarchal setting. So that's just some food for thought. May you walk in Zennurgy. The Haka Part 2. So when some people, including myself, talk about a matriarchy or an egalitarian system, there's some men who immediately get triggered because they really cannot imagine a system that is not patriarchal. In their mind, every civilization